Welcome back everyone to the Japan and Korea tour. We are truly winding down now. We only have 3 parks left and only 1 park left on the island of Kyushu. If you missed yesterday's vlog, we were at Greenland Park. It was a pretty fun time, but the real reason we wanted to come back to Japan, more specifically the southern part, was to visit Kijima Kogen, a park that I'm sure many of you have not heard of. They are home to 5 roller coasters, including one of the longest wooden coasters in the world called Jupiter, from Intamin actually. I fully expect it to be one of the better coasters we do in Japan, and wooden coasters are a rarity in Asia in general, so that's going to be super cool. Getting here is quite the hassle, and it was made even more difficult because of typhoons that have recently hit the area, meaning there were a lot of outages as far as trains and things like that. What should have been a 3-hour ride took about 4. We had to do a couple different trains as well as a Shinkansen, which of course is a bullet train here in Japan. It was bittersweet too. It's the last bullet train of the trip, and I love those things so much. Even so, we are battling storms that come off of those typhoons, and so it will start raining today, guaranteed, but hopefully not until we leave Kijima Kogen, because see, we only have 4 hours in the park, and then we have to bolt out of there and catch transportation to the airport up in Fukuoka, which is hours and hours away, and that'll get us to the island of Hokkaido for our next 2 parks on the trip. Latest flight I could get out of here was like 4:30 p.m. or 16:30 o'clock, which is not great at all, but it was all we could do. Originally, remember, we were going to do Greenland today and then Kijima Kogen yesterday, so it would have made a little more sense that way, since Greenland is always known for being a quiet park where you can get on a bunch of rides and rapid succession without having to wait for anything. Kijima Kogen is a much more defined and well-known destination. It's actually not just a park, it's a full-fledged resort, so I would have loved to see more of it, but 4 hours is all we got, and I'll take it, you know, as long as we get on Jupiter, I'll consider it worth it. So right now, I'm coming at you from the town of Beppu, which is adjacent to the park. It's about a 15-minute car ride to the park from here, but we have to take a bus with a whole bunch of stops, a lot like the one we took to Nasu Highland Park, actually, and Nasu Shiobara. So even though we've done all of our trains and all that yesterday night, because, you know, Greenland closes pretty early, like most other Japanese parks, it gave us opportunity to get all that done. We had a really nice night of sleep, but we still have to take a bus to get there. So we're gonna get there at opening time, which is 9 a.m., which is actually quite nice. Most parks in Japan open at 10. We'll see you guys at Kijima Kogen. Let's head onto that bus. Holy crap, bro. We are going way up into these mountains. It is so beautiful. That had to be one of the most scenic rides of the trip. That was beautiful. I knew this park was up in the hills, but I did not know it was going to be massive mountains and volcanoes around this place. Wait till you guys see it. I mean, the views from the coasters is going to be legendary. But at last, we've made it to the front entrance, so let's go grab our tickets. Admission plus the ride wristband comes out to 5,500 yen, or a little under $40 US, which is a great value for what you're getting, in my opinion. It definitely seems like your core 4 rides are way in the back of the park, with both large-scale roller coasters, a huge drop tower which looks amazing, and also a large-scale Ferris wheel, which should provide some spectacular views of the area. So if we have time, we'd love to do that. This front entry area is pretty nice, small scale but nice. First up today is actually going to be Super LS Coaster. It's arguably the park's most intense coaster because it's the only one to go upside down. It's not a super tall ride, but it's interesting in that it uses the terrain by going down into this trench so that it has enough speed to go through this loop, and that is a Maisho loop, guys. We've only done a few large-scale Maisho coasters this trip, so I can't wait to see how this compares to some of the others. Following that, there's also a double corkscrew in the style of like one of those classic aerodynamics coasters you might ride. Before this, I believe the only looping Maisho we've done is Big Boom at Nasu Highland, which of course is known for that gnarly first drop, but it also has a powerful loop on it that was so intense. It's their classic circle shape that you see also on like Schwarzkopf coasters. I can't wait to experience this. It looks like a super interesting ride. Let's hop on the front row for you guys. What an absolutely gorgeous park so far. I'm already glad we made the trek out here for the views alone, because look at these mountains, they're so high. To the right of us, you can see that big old wooden coaster back there, Jupiter. That's our most anticipated ride in the park. But first, it's time for the Super LS Coaster. Yep. It looks tiny.
It does a lot.
It's the smallest little ride ever right now. And here's our drop. Not much of one.
Here we go. Here we go. Right into a loop.
Oh,
right into a loop.
It doesn't end.
Woo!
Here it is. The ravine. Oh no.
Whoa!
Very forceful. All right. Double cork. Very low to the ground. Oh, we're going through the loop.
That's awesome.
Cool.
I didn't even notice that.
We're crawling now, but
just got a naked station.
That's a cool ride.
That is a very cool ride.
That was a fun looping coaster. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't anything amazing. And I think my expectations were a little bit higher, thinking it was going to be something kind of like Big Boom at Nassau Highland, the sister coaster to this, but it just wasn't all that. The loop was as good as the one on Big Boom. The loop was amazing. But after that, it just meanders. The double cork is rather just generic and okay. And it also slows down at various points. There's not much of a drop either compared to Big Boom, of course, which has one of the best in the world. Just a fine ride, really, but still glad to have ridden it. And Josiah, you ready for Kijima Kogen?
Let's go.
This is the first time I've had you in the video.
I've been seeing Super LS coaster for a long time. I was a little disappointed by the way it rode. The transition into the loop was kind of rough. The double corkscrew was fine. The rest of the layout doesn't really do too much, but visually it's a very impressive attraction, so it's really fun to look at. But I do wish it did a little more.
Now for the reason we came, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting on Jupiter. Now, believe it or not, this is the 5th longest wooden roller coaster in the world, and it's one that many of you maybe have never heard of. Despite that, it was manufactured by Intamin, a very reputable manufacturer in the coaster world. I've been very fortunate to do all their prefabricated wooden coasters, but before that, they had their OG set of wooden coasters. There's only 4 of those left in operation. One of those is American Eagle at Six Flags Great America, a ride which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And then they actually have 3 of those 4 in Japan. Unfortunately, the first opportunity we had to ride one was closed at Tobu Zoo. That was Regina 2, but we did do a small scale version at Hirakata Park in Japan. And then Jupiter is the largest of them all. A crazy height of 140 feet, a track length of more than 5,200 feet. This thing looks awesome. I can't wait. It opened in 1992, and as you can see, it has an incredible mountain backdrop. That setting is spectacular.
I am going into this coaster with relatively high expectations, not on the level of T-Express or like El Toro when I first rode that. Enough of an expectation where I think I'm gonna really enjoy this, and I'm hoping it has the potential to be a top 5 wooden coaster for me. Very, very long ride, and it uses the terrain pretty well. I really think this has the potential to be a pretty incredible ride in my books, but I'm gonna keep my expectations monitored because I've hyped things up before and been severely disappointed.
And dude, there really is so few wooden coasters on this trip, so riding this is such a treat.
Not even just on this trip, but in the world. I don't know if your viewers know this, but there's literally barely over 100 operating wooden coasters left on the planet.
Yeah, they're a dying breed, unfortunately, and it's a shame. I wish parks took more pride in maintaining these things, because a ride on a wooden coaster is unlike one you'll get on a steel coaster, absolutely. And it's why Josiah and I in particular really appreciate a wooden coaster like this. So guys, Jupiter, let's go! Usually I don't start rolling till the lift hill, but you guys needed to see the pre-lift. It is insane and pretty long. Whoa! We're ripping! Oh my gosh! Oh! Whoa! Oh! I'm so excited for this. This looks awesome. Look at all that track that we have to conquer. I can't believe we're on this right now. Are you joking me? Into the drop. I can't believe it. Whoa, that view. That was awesome.
That said, I do need a back row ride, but that was fantastic.
2 rides later on Jupiter. We got one in the front, and then off camera we did one in the back, and that was an awesome wooden coaster. Really, really enjoyed it. I would say it met my expectations, which were relatively high. Not necessarily because it pulls the craziest forces. I mean, a lot of those hills are actually decently elongated, so they don't provide more than floater airtime. That being said, if you like the Beast at Kings Island, for example, I think that's a great example of a ride that's just super long, and it feels like an adventure. A lot like the Voyage at Holiday World, same thing, although this is nowhere near as crazy as that. But I just like those rides that feel just never ending, and this is one of those. It's so cool. Starting with that pre-lift section, it's my second favorite pre-lift on any wooden coaster, just after Hades 360 at Mount Olympus. There's some cool forces ranging from airtime and laterals before you even hit the lift hill. And then from there, and I didn't film this, but the view facing left is unbelievable of the mountains. I love it so much. I think it's one of the prettiest settings for any wooden coaster or roller coaster in general that I've been on. The first drop is weird. It's like a fake out before it goes into the real first drop. But then one thing that surprised me is when we hit the valley of that drop, it's a surprisingly smooth, well-maintained woody, especially for its size. I thought it ran really well, and that was one of the things I liked about it, was that it still had that wooden coaster bite to it without beating you up too bad. That first up into the hill after the drop was amazing. Crazy air there. That's probably my favorite individual air moment on the ride. And then some of those helices and turns have some nice laterals too that are decently sustained. Like, not the strongest thing in the world. Nothing about this ride has the strongest forces, but it's all sustained and fun. I thought it was a great ride. Definitely one of my favorite coasters of the trip, but nothing overly outstanding. Josiah, I think you liked it probably even a little more than I did.
I liked it more than Mark. I'm more like Mark mentioned, this is kind of an adventurous ride. I'm more for the adventure myself, so I'm not necessarily looking for the most perfectly designed coaster ever. I thought it runs really smooth. I've had a lot of friends tell me this thing's rough as all hell. I disagree. I think it was great. I thought it was really well maintained. Airtime's lacking for sure. I mean, I told Mark when we got off, this is more of a thrill coaster, not an extreme coaster. It's more on the thrill side of things. There are plenty of thrill coasters that are better than extreme coasters. So for me, this was very high ranking. I can solidify it after 2 rides as my 4th favorite wooden coaster that I ever did. So I like it a lot.
I think that's the thing with Kijima Kogen is we've already walked around and seen some of the park. It feels to me like it's a family destination. It is also a resort. I mentioned that as well, but nothing here is that extreme. Even that loop screw coaster was not that intense outside of the loop. But you know what? That's fine. At the end of the day, I'm glad to visit parks of varying different intensity levels, we should say. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad we came out to this park to experience it. So before we grab the rest of the coaster credits in this park, since we're actually doing really well on time, we've already done the 2 major rides and got a re-ride on Jupiter, we're actually going to go ahead and do some of the non-coasters. There's 2 in the back of the park that I think I mentioned that look really fun. So one of those is going to be this Intamin giant drop tower. It looks amazing, super forceful, and the view is going to be incredible. On this trip, there has been a severe lack in drop towers being open. The only one that I think we've done is like maybe Brazilian Park with Shoes in Highland, which was a great drop tower, by the way. But yeah, we haven't done that many, and Intamin does some of the best towers in existence, so I cannot wait to ride it.
Okay, this does feel really high.
Yeah, it does. This is crazy tall.
Really high.
The views are amazing. Reverse POV going down. Let's go, baby. It's about to be intense as hell.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Oh! Oh! Absolutely killer drop tower. That was super forceful, and the view was spectacular. One of the best from any tower I've done. I loved it.
Amazing. Amazing.
And Josiah, notice this ice house, which we just did at Greenland.
Yep.
These are so awesome. They tell you only to be in here for a few minutes or you'll freeze.
Yeah, and Mark and I lasted 30 seconds, so we don't even need that warning. We're in and out of here.
So first you go into this waiting room, and then they let you in. It's already pretty cold in here, but it gets really bad. Oh no! Every time, you can never get used to it. And the walls are all iced. Oh, this one has lights? That's cool. Polar bear. It is so cool. That's pretty cool. Look at that ship that's frosted over. This one is short. Okay, good, because I needed to be out of there. The one at Greenland was definitely longer and cooler, but that was still really fun. I love those. Those were cool. Japanese novelty. We're gonna go do this Ferris wheel now, which actually isn't like super tall for a Japanese wheel, which I know is hilarious because in America, it would be one of the tallest ones at any amusement park. But before we do, and I don't think we're gonna ride this, but I wanted to point this out. They have a shoot the chutes ride where you just go down a big drop and get wet. But this one is weird because it's covered. So what's really the point of that ride? I don't really understand it. That splash does look pretty cool though. The reason we're not willing to do that today, like if it were a different park maybe on this trip, but actually this park is really nice temperature wise. It was a lot hotter of a day yesterday at Greenland, and the reason being is because we're up in the mountains. It's a lot like Fuji Highland. That was the nicest day of the trip temperature wise, both of the days actually there. And Kijima Kogen is no exception, so we're gonna take advantage of this wheel for sure. It looks awesome. Let's do it. One thing to note about this one, no air conditioning, which is a little annoying, but not bad at this park. We're going up and check out those views of Jupiter. I believe it's cycling its layout right now. We also got some sweet mountain views that are only going to get more dramatic the higher we go. Cool structure for this Ferris wheel, I will say that much, and I like the color scheme. I'm not sure why they put this here, but it definitely does distract from the view of Jupiter. Definitely makes you appreciate the scale of it a little bit more being on this wheel. So Josiah just told his vlog, we're surrounded by national park land right now actually. I don't know if you can see super well. There's an enormous volcano back there. It's over 1,300 meters in height. And it's why you have a lot of geothermal stuff around this area. So one of the hallmarks of this resort is there's actually hot spring, natural hot spring. So that is really cool. I believe there's also onsens at our hotel last night in the town near the park called Beppu. Kind of of a poorly designed Ferris wheel, we thought. Not built in the direction it should have been, in my opinion. Also, the windows are not great.
Shout out to Hoey saying, yo, looks like they built this.
Pretty obscure.
They've done a couple weird roller coasters on this trip too, like kids rides.
So it's been a minute since our last vending machine, and that's because Korea did not have any vending machines. And actually Greenland didn't have any vending machines too, which I thought was weird. It's probably the only Japanese park we've been to without these things. So
True enough.
this is the next episode of Cooking Dash. We have our 200 yen, so let's slide this in here. All right, now the question is, what do we want? I was eyeing this. It's a fruit drink, but it also has a carrot on it, so I assume it's a fruit and vegetable drink, which is scary.
I would say try that, or try the match, the orange.
Yeah, I haven't seen this anywhere, but honestly, this looks more... yeah, I don't even have enough for this, so I'm just gonna grab this. Pop it open. There it is. Cheers. It's awesome. It's awesome. Not sparkling at all, which I really appreciate. I am not a fan of sparkling drinks, so I give this an 8.5 out of 10. Love it. So our first of the 3 remaining credits is Dragon up there, which is a Zamperla powered coaster with a single helix. That's by far the park's smallest coaster, so we'll grab that one off camera. No need to really film on ride on that one. This park is definitely one of the best maintained and nicest parks of the trip. Just wanted to point that out because this landscaping is really blowing me away. But we're about to get on the roller skater up next. That's the name and the model line of this ride from Bacoma. Opened in the year 2000, but it was a relocation, so it came from another park, and there I believe it opened in 97. Now here's a type of kids coaster I truly do not mind riding. I feel like a lot of kiddie coasters are just so rough and uncomfortable, which in many ways defeats the purpose of them because kids are gonna get scared off and not want to work their way up to bigger rides. But these are solid, so shout out Bacoma. Here we go. Whoa! Trust me, it's smoother than it sounds. Whoa! Oh! It's pretty fun, pretty zippy. Whoa. Roller skater was good fun. For what it was, I think it's solid. And up next, Josiah, we're getting on Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
Looks rusted over.
So rusted over. I think it was abandoned. Let me see who built this thing. Meisho.
Yep, and it's a
Meisho
one-off
built
model. It's called the Gold Rush model.
You're right.
Only 1,700 feet of track. I don't think it looks particularly long. In many ways, it's just like a jet coaster, maybe. Line looks a little fat, so good thing this is the last thing we're doing today. We don't exactly know when this opened, but sometime around 2005, around the time I was born. Going out of this cave on Gold Rush. This is from Meisho, and it looks pretty interesting and janky. Theming is nice, though, and I'm glad that we're going in and out of this rock work. They're utilizing it to their fullest ability.
I'm so curious how this rides. I genuinely am so curious.
All right, don't beat us up too bad. Come on.
Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, the airtime. Oh my.
There is a little bit. There is a little bit.
Oh.
It's because the cars in the back have that extra push.
That's really fun. It's actually pretty smooth too.
That airtime moment right there is gonna be gnarly.
Oh, I see one coming up, yeah. Whoa, it's actually a really fun ride. Oh, that airtime was insane!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my! Oh! Why is this awesome?
Oh my gosh!
It's way better than it looks.
Some of the most jank airtime in the world. Oh my gosh!
Look at this! Oh! Ride this in the front if you come here.
What is this?
What in the world? That was low-key awesome. Oh my, and we were flying through the brakes. What is going on? That's cool. Oh! Visually, this looks like it would be one of the sketchiest roller coasters, maybe of the entire trip, but it actually rode okay, and not only that, it had some amazing airtime. That was actually a big surprise. I see why that has one of the longer lines in the park. It's actually the longest we waited here. Wow, that was shocking the way you were pushed up out of your seat. It reminded me actually of Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point, that airtime. So if you're a fan of something like that, you'll like this ride.
What the hell? That was so weird. What an awesome ride.
And I guess that just about does it for Kijima Kogen. We have to head out now to catch a flight over to Hokkaido, Japan. Kijima Kogen was a blast, though. We really like this park. It's so well kept, and the location is unbelievable. The ride lineup was maybe slightly underwhelming for me. Jupiter's a very solid headliner, but I didn't think they had a strong second place coaster. LNS was just all right, other than the loop on that. Still a really fun ride. And then the Ferris wheel was also kind of disappointing. Ice House was also short compared to the one we've done at Greenland, so it really just feels like we've done plus versions of a lot of these different rides at other parks on this trip, but I guess they're plus because of the location.
A decent park. It's a mid-grade park. It's not amazing, it doesn't suck, it's very well maintained, and Jupiter is worth coming here for. So I definitely wouldn't say it's a bucket list location, but it is one that if you do have an extra day and you want to get some cool sightseeing in as well, definitely check it out. It's cool. cool.
I totally agree, but I think the expectation was that this was by far and away going to be our favorite park on the island of Kyushu, but I think both of us thought Greenland was the better park.
Yeah, Greenland has more to do, it's more spread out, and it's a little more unique in my opinion, but this does have the better ride lineup.
Yeah, despite the fact that it's a much smaller ride lineup, we actually think the rides here are a little bit better, even though this does feel more family oriented. I think if you're coming here with the family, it's a great time. Most of the stuff here is a little bit tamer than we expected, and therefore a relatively mild collection of attractions, but that's totally fine. Each park has its place, you know? But no, I think it was just the fact that Greenland surprised us so much. We weren't expecting such a quirky and fun park, but thank you all so much for watching, and next up we'll see you from Rasutsu Resort, which is actually one of our most anticipated parks in Japan, and it's a place that a lot of people are unfamiliar with, so we'll see you there. Peace out, guys.